So we're Muddy Machines. We are an ag tech robotics company. Now, why would you want to put robots into agriculture? Very simple, three things. One, there's a big labor shortage. Second, if you don't produce the crops domestically anymore, you will import more, and you'll cause more CO2 emissions, and you'll become very dependent on these imports. Now, the long version of that, UK farming in particular, thanks to Brexit, but all over the world, we are seeing increasing labor shortages in farming, specifically in those farming operations where you have a lot of labor intensity. Up to 60% of a farmer's production costs are in labor, and most of that in harvesting. So if you can't harvest, and in the UK we have 50% harvest labor shortage, your crops rot, you have to plow them back in, you lose millions. The government doesn't really want to do anything about getting more seasonal workers into the country. Visa scheme is stagnant for years, and we've been speaking to a lot of farmers. They're already reducing their output for next year. They're just planting less. So there's a massive industry in the UK alone that is at risk of going out of business. We are only growing 25% of our food domestically. That is going to go up. First thing's going to happen, more food miles, more CO2 emissions. Food's going to become more expensive and less healthy, because fresh produce, when it travels, goes off. But the thing that worries me the most is, as you can all know, we're in an energy crisis. Why? Because we're dependent on energy imports. If we let that happen and become dependent on food imports as well, then we're going to have a real problem in several years' time when the world population keeps growing the way it is. So we absolutely need to retain every kilo of produce that we can produce domestically in the good soils that we have, in the temperate climate, and in the water that we have, especially in the UK. So what have we done? I'd like to introduce you to Sprout. Sort of high enough, hopefully, for everybody to see. So Sprout is a robotic platform that can carry a variety of different harvest tools. Here you see Sprout equipped with our asparagus harvest tool. So this is green asparagus that grows above the ground, and Sprout is lightweight. It is relatively small. You see a big sprayer over there coming the other way. So this is only weighing less than half a ton. It can therefore be electrically powered, and it doesn't cause soil compaction, which is detrimental to yields in horticulture. It is built in a very modular way so that even farm staff could swap out quite easily the wear and tear parts. And as I mentioned, you have actually just seen the big frame there. We can swap out these tools to go and operate in other crops. So this makes it a pretty environmentally sustainable platform. This is me removing obstacles from the path. I'm just going to show you one or two asparagus picks. So this is a patented technology that we've built ourselves. This is basically the real magic, the building the end effector fast enough and reliable enough to pick asparagus and also design additional end effectors that work in other crop environments. Our vision is to sustainably solve agriculture's labor challenges with well-built robots. So we're going from a harvest team where you have up to 20 workers walking behind a tractor and a team leader to a small herd of robots where one robot replaces 2 to 3 people and is managed by a human supervisor that can swap out boxes, fix minor issues, etc. The important thing is that this machine can be used for almost the entire year. So it's not a combine harvester that you use for 1 week and then you put it in the shed and you use it again the next year. We have a robotics as a service business model that allows for a very, very high profit margin. We are break even on one robot after 1 season. Only asparagus, I hear you ask? No, far from it. In asparagus, we have over 90% market access. This is what we're commercializing first in the coming year. We are currently in receipt of 2 Innovate UK grants to explore other crops. Once we're in a crop, we can develop other solutions such as mechanical weeding or lots of data services to increase the yield of the farmer. Robotics as a service, as a business model, I already mentioned that. Farm robotics is a huge market, over 100 billion, depending on what McKinsey research you're looking at. But the important thing is that these growers are going out of business if they don't automate. So you can actually penetrate the individual harvest segments to more than just 2 or 3%. We're talking about 30-40% market adoption because the growers really, really need this. Final thoughts, where we're at. We've just done a seed round. We've got about 2.5 million in grants. We've got about 2 million in equity. We are now looking for contacts to our upcoming Series A next year. And we're building now 5 robots. We have a farmer that wants over 100, so we're going to raise money to build those 100 robots. That's what we need money for. We're a team of 15 people based in West London. Thank you very much.